Hello friends, welcome to another interview with the Afghans. As you probably know, most of the countries around the world have distanced themselves from Afghanistan. Even though that most of the countries of the world have shared water and food with Afghanistan, they have the political situation and during the current government, the people and the countries have distanced themselves from Afghanistan. We have seen previously that the Afghan, that how Western European people is coming to Afghanistan for tourism. We have met Frenchmen, British, Germans, who are traveling around to see our beloved Afghanistan. But we also seen a raising of Afghans abroad, living in European countries, who is coming back to Afghanistan to either visit their family, or doing a business, charity, or just for visiting.
Today I have with me Mansoor. Welcome to the interview and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Mansoor, can you please introduce yourself? What are you doing, where you're from, and what are you doing here in Kabul?
Thank you. So I'm originally from Afghanistan, but I've been living in UK for last 23 years, and I've got construction company and a property business back in the UK. But in Afghanistan, I've got charity organization which I'm running, supporting about 70 to 100 families a month.
Amazing.
Yeah, so the target of this visit was to see, to work on charity and to see some historical places in Afghanistan, which I love to see it. And I've seen in social media a lot of people visiting, so I said, let's go.
But let me just ask you a question. Like, you have been in Afghanistan before, during the last government.
Yes.
Did you visit any history places at that time?
No,
Why not?
it wasn't safe. Well, at that time.
So you feel more comfortable to traveling around today, doing this under a new government?
As I said, I've seen in social media that a lot of people are going, and they are saying that it's much safer than before. So I've experienced as well that this is the best time to see all around Afghanistan. It's got so beautiful places to see, and in terms of social security, I'm so happy.
You're happy, so you probably like, I'm from Europe as well, and most of our Afghans, or people like me or you, we probably have some thoughts before we came here, Can you tell me what was your, thoughts before about the new government and new Afghanistan? And did you become surprised or disappointed when you arrived and showed, but you see everything with your own eyes?
Before we getting to Afghanistan, it was with a lot of worry. So because there's a lot of
Worry about what?
it's the new government. There's a lot of it's the Taliban, the picture which we had before, and it's now what they do is completely different. So the Taliban, which is now, or the Emirates, I'm completely surprised.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
Can you explain? So what surprised you most?
In terms of the way they talk with people, I've been to a couple of cities and in Kabul. So the checkpoints, they're so polite and nicely. They do ask you 1-2 questions, and they just at the end you will be surprised how the people which we had different pictures about them, and they behave completely nicely and good towards people. It's not only me that I can say, okay, like with the families, friends which I shared, they always say that they behave they talk with the people nicely, and in terms of social security, and we used to scared of kidnapping a lot.
Yeah, indeed.
But now I don't even think about it. It's no.
Would you describe yourself, opposition to Taliban before you came here?
Completely opposition.
Okay.
You could call enemy of Taliban.
Yeah.
But because anybody destroyed the country or they involve in negative activities, I'm against it.
Yeah.
So what they had different pictures before, but when we see them now, it's completely different.
Will you still describe yourself as a opposition to Taliban today when you have been here and seen everything?
They've done so many good things,
Okay.
but we expect to do more good things, which is there's 3 points which I've got with me that if they do that, then I don't think so we'll be against this
Would you
regime.
mention it? What think of it?
Yeah, it's the schools, girls' schools, one thing, and the other thing is the pension, the retirement people which they have worked for the country, and they are out of pension now. They're only living with the pension before, but they are elderly. So we need to look after our elderly, and this country needs to be look after elderly, widows, and children. You know, which is all around the world. They always first put priority to them. The pension need to be started, and the people which been out of the work, so which they work in some of the ministries, and if they get them back to work, that would be great. Yeah.
And like another kind of amazing how you have like changed from being the opposition to Taliban to become, can I say, pro-friends with Taliban today? And how many days have you been here?
25 days.
So in 25 minutes you experienced that kind of changes, you know?
Well, it's completely changed me.
Yeah.
From enemy, a friend.
Taliban.
So let me ask the question. You also talk about you had a charity in Afghanistan, you know, and as you probably most of the people is aware about this economic situation right now. You know, you have seen a lot of recession. We have seen a lot of expensive poverty is rising. And if you go to the bakeries here around Kabul, you have seen a lot of huge lines of people who's begging for even bread. It's also a situation. A phenomenon which you also see in European countries due to the war in Ukraine, in Russia. And so every kind of help, what you're doing, what other people are doing, is how to say, welcome. You know, everybody's become happy for it. But have you seen, like, I'm probably sure that anyone who's coming to making anything government as a policy or charity, they got involved in kind of way with the Taliban, you know? Have you experienced doing your charity, being involved with Taliban, interact with Taliban, and how was the experience?
Well, like when I come to do some charity works, people were saying, "Oh, if the Taliban knows and they do this, that." So what I have done, I've informed them. So I went to the police department, and they've been so nice, they've been so helpful. They says we can give you security, we give you to manage it, because it was very difficult to manage with the people, and even we went to foreign minister. They've been so nice and they've been so helpful.
So you went to a foreign ministry. Wow, that's amazing for 25 days going to foreign ministry. How was your experience with the foreign ministry?
It was great.
Who did you meet?
Yeah, it's a vice president of
the spokesperson.
Yeah, Balkhi, Mr. Balkhi, and he's a great personality, and he shows, it gives me energy to work for our people.
He motivated you.
He did, and he was so nice and respectful.
And how was, like, you know, we also, let's go back to about you were talking about you were worried before you came here, you know. What did you worry about?
Oh, there's a lot of things. My beard, the way I dress sometimes, you know, and they were saying that your beard, if it's like this, and your haircut style, if it's like this, you be in big troubles. But not at all. I've seen the Honorable Ma'ruf, and they passing through, and they never said anything. No.
And just for our audience in Ma'ruf, is we call it. Some people call it like. Sharia police in Europe, but it's like social. How can you describe that actually in English besides Sharia police? Because I don't like it called Sharia police, but it's like in social manners. They behave in charge. But you saw them.
Yes, yeah, I did. No, well, like when you see it, my cousin said that they are Ma'ruf, but from far you can get a bit worried or scared. But when you see them at the face. Nice people.
You know, there's been a lot of debates about women's rights and women's female situation here in Afghanistan. Were your family members, the female members of your family, were they worried in a different way compared to you? You were worried about beard, you know.
Yeah.
What about them?
They don't see changes. I don't know about the official places, but in Kabul city.
For the women, so your female families were not worried about anything.
Not at all. No.
Have they become surprised as well, or what?
Even the checkpoints, and they are more respectful to the ladies than like they give a lot of respect to the families.
Yeah, but compare with if you're single or a bachelor.
They do check a lot if you're single, especially two
guys
persons. And with the family they do give respect. They do their check, which is good. I'm happy with it, but with a lot of respect.
Let's go back to your charity. You were talking about you helping, and as I named previously about the financial situation is very harsh here. What do you think? How can we build the country? I mean, like European countries have to think themselves. You know, money is frozen, and nobody that works, companies has been closed. You know, right now I think like a company like DHL, which transport everything, export import, is closed. You know, and the current government is trying to build business. You know, we have seen this. Trains the lines between Afghanistan and Uzbekistan, and Pakistan has been trying to reopen again. But how can we Afghans abroad, you know, living in Western countries, how can we do an effort to support our Afghans without we get involved in political?
At the moment, we have got the charity which is helping families with the food, and so the target of this time we are trying to make some courses, especially start from widows, and then we get to the next step to other men and women. So which is we plan to make kind of the charity organization that teach them skill building, that they can do something and produce it to the society, and they can live with it, and they can tailoring and. There's a lot of skills that because they don't have, to be honest, if apart the education, they don't have the skills what to do. So there's a lot of courses that we can make and then teach them that they can do that work and then produce it to the.
And how do you think other Afghans from UK or from Denmark, Germany, etc., how can they get involved? Like, how was you like? How you have made a charity? You work in Afghanistan. You have experience enough to tell them where to begin. Because when you talk with the Afghan, they're like, we like to support our landmen here in Afghanistan, but the problem is that there are too many. Where should I begin? You know, the problem is too much.
There's a lot of charity organization. First, they need to start the people which they trust, they know. So they need to help each other. The charity which. Like anybody running, they need to help that to build, and they can give their thought, like which way, what's the best section they can get involved.
I also mean, you have, like when I speak with the youth of Kabul, for example, you know, most of the youth is very angry or disappointed of Western countries because they feel like Western countries has left them or. How can I say, stole their freedom, like etc. Probably you have already heard about it when you, like us, like European, come and talk with Afghan. Do you think the Afghan have a point? Like, should they be angry at Western country or do this Western country they own or something?
Not at all. No, the Afghans didn't build the European countries. They have built themselves. The Afghans need to build their country themselves. So and they do support all the time. Their help's always appreciated, but they shouldn't be disappointed about what they need to come and do for us.
Let me just ask one question. Like, you know, you have been here 25 days. This is going to be my last question. You've been here 25 days. How would you, if you look at the camera right now, can you send a message for the Afghans living in Britain or United Kingdom, sorry? Or do you think, what should they do? What will you, like, based on your 25 days of experience in Afghanistan, which kind of message would you send to them?
To Afghans in Europe, or right, my message is to them that you need to get together, help our people, which is, it's in a very needy situation. And anyways, first they can start with their families and then get bigger to help bigger community, which is especially people in Kabul, they suffer a lot with in terms of economical. So the unity is the best way.
Thank you very much again for coming here, Mansoor. I'm very happy for this interview, and I'm very proud to see people like you.
Thanks for the Afghans team.
Guys, that was one of our interview again with our Afghan brother from the kingdom, as they like to pronounce it. Mansoor one of his goal points, which I think is very important, like, it doesn't matter the situation. I think most of the Afghan should try to think about the future and try to build the country, do the effort as much as possible. So thanks for watching us. Don't forget to follow us in social media as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, because more products, more interviews is gonna come. Take care, bye.